Hello lovelies, we are doing something a little bit different in this vlog because I have booked myself a wee solo night away here in Stirling. I've not really spent any time in Stirling. It's a couple of hours from where I live in the Cairngorms and it's a smallish city. It's not as big as, like, you know, you've got Glasgow and Edinburgh, like Scotland's biggest cities. This I think is like maybe a similar size to Perth, but I'm not really sure. It's somewhere I really want to spend a bit more time because I don't really know the area at all, and it's got loads of like cute like shopping streets and attractions that I'm keen to explore. I've not booked a particularly fancy room, I'm actually just in a travel lodge, so it's quite generic, but it's a budget friendly room, and I came down on the train, which I actually really enjoyed. I can't remember the last time I was on a train. It was very therapeutic, although busier than I anticipated, and I forget how like little space you have when you're on a train, so that took a little bit of adjusting, but I did a little bit of work, I did a little bit of reading. I brought the perfect book with me. I thrifted this like a couple of months ago and I was like, I need to read this because this is like absolutely ideal for like a train journey, and I have to say I'm already loving it. I'm not, well, I should say that I'm 116 pages in, and yeah, it's a really fun story at the moment about how all these passengers have met each other and they're getting to know each other's lives, and yeah, I'll give a proper update when I'm a little bit of the way through, but I enjoyed reading that. And that is relevant because I definitely want this to be a bit of a bookish trip away. Probably the main reason I wanted to come away, really, because there's quite a few bookshops I'd like to visit. There's a book cafe, there's I think an Oxfam specifically dedicated to books, there's Stirling Books, which I believe is a second-hand bookshop, but like quite an old one, quite famous, so I definitely want to do that. But I think this afternoon the weather's nicer, so I think we might head out and go to the castle because I feel like it's something that needs to be done. But I've not set myself a really prescriptive itinerary. I want this trip away to be really nice and relaxed and very slow. I'm all about slow travel, so yes, I'll definitely have some bookish content in here, but other than that I have no real plans, which is quite nice. So I ate my lunch on the train. I think I'm gonna get my bits together and we can head out exploring. Stop, coffee, really nice, and now off to find the castle. It's feeling quite spooky. I've just found this really gorgeous graveyard just right near the castle, and it's quite misty now and you can just hear like crows and stuff. It feels very atmospheric and it's beautiful. I'm already only just slightly into the old town of Stirling and I'm already swept away. Very gothic, very kind of dark academia. I mean, it's beautiful. I've not even got to the castle yet and I'm already like so excited to be here. This is so cool. Honestly, you could spend all day just wandering around this castle. I love the walls, like open up onto a view that is just coming out. It's been very misty, weirdly. It's like bright, but then there's big spots like covered in mist, but you can just about see the view now. And typically me, I'm spending a lot of my time outside in the garden section, but it's very cool inside as well. I think especially if you've got young children, it's like an ideal place. Those places you can dress up and things like that. Yeah, very much worth it. I highly recommend. So I've just left the castle. I had a wee cup of tea in their cafe and a massive vegan cinnamon bun. I could only eat part of it. I've had to take the rest away with me. And it's almost 3 now, so I have no real plans, but I think I might go back via the old town, see a bit of that. I am quite tempted to go into maybe one bookshop, maybe Oxfam, but we'll see. I'm going to pootle on that way and see what I find. But yeah, the weather's holding. It's a bit grey today. It's kind of like changeable all day, but I think today's going to be the better day, so I definitely want to do a lot of my walking today. But yeah, I'm having a really lovely time. So I've come back to the room for a wee break and I'm going to make myself a cuppa. Just checking for cleanliness. I brought this with me. You should see my suitcase. It's actually hysterical. I had like, tea is a necessity for me. I brought like a mini Oatly. I brought this, which has like some herbal teas in it. And then it's basically just snacks and comfy clothes. And obviously I brought 2 books because I couldn't bear the thought of not having options. So I brought like the fiction I showed you earlier and also a non-fiction I'm reading. But I think I'm gonna, it's just like a little mini, I think I showed you this as one of my Christmas presents maybe when Mum got me. Oh gosh, it's a bit stiff. There we go. So I've just popped in a couple peppermint teas, just because I like to have at least 1 peppermint tea in the evening, and then I put in a couple, I actually got, I think this must have come with it, like a Twinings Sleep, which again I might have that as well this evening. I do drink a lot of tea, and then my kind of favourite tea at the moment is the pucker one. That I think I mentioned in a couple of vlogs, the peppermint and licorice. So that's what I'm going to make now. Look at the dinky little kettle. So cute. There was an alarming moment where I thought the kettle wasn't going to work. And I'm not the kind of person that's comfortable like calling reception for anything. I hate stuff like that. But I was like, if this kettle doesn't work, I'm going to have to do something because I can't not have tea in the few hours I'm going to be in this room. Like, that's just farcical. So no, don't worry, it it worked just fine. So I didn't do a huge amount after I left the castle. I had a little bit of more of a wander around the old town, but I kind of seen quite a lot of it on the way to the castle. I mean, I say all that, there probably is so much, well there will be so much in Stirling that I won't see on this trip, but I am not trying to see everything. I used to be that person. If I go somewhere new, I used to be someone that was like, oh, I need to make the most of it, I need to like fill my days, I don't want to be in the hotel room at all. But I think I find cities overwhelming, I find travel tiring. I've talked about this a lot, well, I've talked about this before on this channel about, you know, I do feel like I'm on the kind of highly sensitive spectrum, if that's such a thing. Definitely introverted, so yeah, being around people I do find exhausting. So that's why I booked a hotel, and I also booked to check in early and check out late, which means I know that for pretty much the whole time I'm here I'm going to have a base that I can retreat to and just recover. And in all honesty, like, you don't need, I obviously want to go out and about because that's why I came to Stirling, but there's also like, I don't know about you, I feel very excited about staying in a hotel room, even one that is, you know, admittedly quite budget. I mean, you have, you know, I don't have the responsibilities a lot of people have, I don't have children, but I am a dog mum, and when you're at home you've got like chores and other stuff, you're more likely to work. Like, it's something very nice about just staying in a hotel. I remember when I went to a premiere with my old job as in conservation, I got invited to this premiere of this nature documentary. It was really cool. It was in London. I was nervous about going because it was going to be like an evening reception, and it's long, you know, London's a long way. But it was cool, and I was glad I went and enjoyed the premiere. But I remember vividly the thing I enjoyed most about that trip was, one, the train journey. Not the way back so much. It seems very long on the way back, but on the way down I was like, it was a nice posh train, one of those direct ones. And the following morning, like having, because I'm an early riser, I didn't have to get up. I didn't have to leave the room till like 9 or something. So I was up from 7 and I had a couple of hours just chilling. And I ended up doing a bit of writing, felt really inspired being in a new setting. I've talked about this before, you know, I try and put myself out there to, as a creative, to get inspiration regularly, and being any time I'm in a new setting I feel inspired. I even did a little bit of writing already in the cafe. I did a bit of reading and then I did a bit of writing in the cafe in the castle, just because I felt like, you know, creative juices are flowing, and it's a way of obviously like taking notes and recording my time here as a memory, but also because I do share my life online, that's very useful, and I already think I've got something there that I can share with my Substack. So there's always a fine line with me between what's like personal and what's professional. And it took me ages to book this trip because I was like, I can only justify it if I work the whole time. I can't justify it just because I want to go, which seems bonkers because I had the money. You know, I don't have my wee van now, so I do a lot of travel in that, and then I travel to see friends, but I rarely do something like an overnight like this. This probably would be the only one I do this year. I love it so much, and I just do it my way, and I think that's the upside. If you are more of a sensitive person, more of an introvert, travelling alone does mean you can do it to your kind of pace, and you can take your breaks, and you don't have that interaction of like, or the stimulation of like interacting with someone else. So there's a lot of upsides to solo travel. I know it can be scary, the concept, but again, you know, it's about planning for me. Like, I do travel and do a lot of stuff by myself, but I still get nervous. I was still feeling a bit nervy this morning. So that's why I booked, you know, a hotel that I'm familiar with. I know how it works. It was literally a 4-minute walk, if that, from the train station. I actually could see it coming out the station, so that was useful for someone that struggles with navigation. I booked Stirling because the city itself is very walkable, a lot of it's very walkable, and like I say, I've not filled my plate or put any expectations on myself. So that's my advice. I have had actually, I think, a couple of comments recently for advice in terms of, you know, if you're a more sensitive person, how you kind of navigate life generally, but in terms of like travel and stuff, I think, yeah, making sure you have space for breaks when you can is really important. So I think I'm just going to do probably a little bit of work, start organising this footage, do a bit of reading with my cup of tea, and then in all honesty, I will get takeout tonight. I go and sit and eat. I don't like going out in the evenings, the best time. So there is a Pizza Hut literally down there. I think that's what's going to be my dinner. I'm going to get into my comfy clothes that I brought with me and have some pizza and enjoy my nice evening in a hotel room, which feels very novel. Good morning, loves. I am just getting my bits together to head out again today. It's looking cold. It's looking like that kind of really cold mist at the moment. So I've got like 2 layers on. I'm definitely gonna wear a hat today. And I've had a bit of a slow morning because I didn't sleep particularly well, and that's no detriment to the travel lodge. I never sleep particularly well when I'm in like a new bed. It's just who I am. So I've just been taking it slowly this morning. I've done a little bit of work, a little bit of writing, and it's just past 9 AM now. So I think I'm going to head out to a cafe first. I'm hoping the Book Nook is open. It says it is online, which is like a bookish cafe. So that was definitely one of the top of my list of things I wanted to do whilst I was here. So I think we're going to head there first, and then I'm thinking of maybe also doing the gallery and museum today, maybe after the cafe, and then doing some shopping. Stirling Books, which is like the second-hand bookshop, isn't open till 12, so I'll do a little bit of other shopping, maybe pop into the Waterstones, definitely probably some charity shops before then, but I'm gonna see. I've got this room till 2, so I can take it easy, take it steady, and yeah, hopefully have a really fun bookish day. That cafe was just my dream kind of cafe. It was stunning, it was so cozy, it was so nice to be surrounded by books and bookish like people. You could tell everyone in there, you know, it was my kind of people that enjoy reading, you know, quiet spot to start the day, really nice coffee as well, and a lovely collection of books, some secondhand, some new ones, some gorgeous like gift editions of classics, but yeah, really, really lovely. And now I'm on the way to the art gallery. So back at the hotel, had a really lovely morning out. I started off at the Book Nook cafe, which I have to say I think was the highlight of my day and one of the highlights of my trips. It was just so well put together, it was so cozy. The books that are curated there was a mix of like secondhand and like some really lovely new titles, gift editions was really nice. The coffee was really nice. It just, if I lived in Stirling, I'd be there all the time. Like if you're ever near Stirling, go there, and you like books, go there, because it was great. And then yeah, I went to the museum and gallery. Not massive. I would probably say that out of the two, the Perth one was better. So I went to the Perth one month or so ago and really enjoyed that. And then after that, just sort of had a little mooch around town, went to some charity shops, went to a like artists gift shop type thing. That was really cool. It's some really lovely work in there. And then finished off with a trip to Stirling Books, which I have to say was a little bit anticlimactic. It's a really cool space, like it's kind of like in a basement almost, and it obviously had some really lovely editions of old books, but it was really tiny and there wasn't a huge amount, and there wasn't really any contemporary books or anything like that. So I mean, it took me 3 minutes to sort of have a quick wander around, and it's just up the road from the Travelodge, so it was worth ducking in. But yeah, maybe not as good as I was anticipating. I thought I would show you, I've only got a little mini haul of things that I've got on this trip. The first one being a bookmark that I got from the Book Nook cafe. It says Team Emily on it because it refers to the Bronte sisters, and Emily is my favourite, or at least Wuthering Heights is my favourite, which is the novel she wrote. And on the back is a quote from Wuthering Heights. It says, "I cannot live without my life, I cannot live without my soul." Obviously Heathcliff says that, so it's going to add to my ever-growing bookmark collection. And then the next couple I got from charity shops. So I got myself a copy of this book, and if you've watched the channel before, you see me go on about this. I read this early in 2024 and absolutely loved it, but didn't have an edition. So I thought, as I saw it, I've seen it a few times in charity shops and not picked it up, but I was like, I think I mentioned in my last vlog, I'm looking to put up more bookshelves in the tiny home, so I'm starting to collect some of my favourite books as I see them. And yeah, I would actually love to reread this as well. I'm finding the character in this, there's a few, the main character Iona, similar-ish vibes to Eleanor in the sense that she's a little bit kooky, although I would say Eleanor is never said that she's autistic, but you kind of get the impression she probably is, whereas I wouldn't say that's the case with Iona. But yeah, I'm happy to have a copy of this. And I got this one in the Oxfam, which is probably my favourite shop, potentially. I just love Oxfam, and it was completely books as well. So yeah, definitely recommend that. And it's like it's called the Birdcage Library. I've never heard of the book or the author before, but I looked right up my street. I love anything kind of like gothic themed. I love a historical fiction. I never really separate them out in my head or even on like I organise all my books on my Notion. I kind of put historical fiction alongside contemporary, but when I reflect, I actually do read a lot of historical fiction. I think that comes with growing up reading like the classics. So this one is set in 1932 and it follows the main protagonist, Emily Blackwood, and she is described as a young, adventurous and plant hunter, but she gets asked by this gentleman to come and catalogue his collection of taxidermied creatures before they go on sale. So she ends up going to this like ruined castle, and it's haunted by this woman that was meant to have disappeared years before, and it looks like Emily finds a diary, presumably written by this woman. And things are escalating and suggests that she might be in danger, so sounds fabulous. I will probably get around to this soon because I'm kind of in the mood for something a bit more gothic. And then I'm going to a family baby shower in a week or so, so I wanted to pick up a couple of things. Got these both from Waterstones, which is like my go-to for kind of gift books and also cards. So I got this Moomin card. I just thought that was quite sweet for a baby shower. It's like front and back. And then I had a little look through all of the baby books, but I would say that I find baby books can be a bit garish, which I know is the point because you want babies to, you know, it's good for them to see lots of colours and all that kind of stuff, but I wanted to get one that was a bit nicer but I still feel like appropriate to be read to a baby. And it was this one here, which I just thought was really, really sweet. It's The Owl Who Was Afraid of the Dark, so it's got really lovely pictures on the inside as well as the writing, and I just thought it was a really sweet concept as well. So yeah, really pleased. It's a wee boy. I think this could be totally fine for a boy or a girl, but yeah. Really, really sweet. But I think I'm gonna end this vlog here because I will just be hanging out in here I bought some like lunch from Marks and Spencer's to have a bit of food before I check out and get my train home. But I hope you guys enjoyed this with Stirling vlog. Let me know if you want to see some more kind of travel content. There's definitely areas more locally to me and more areas that I'd maybe want to do an overnight trip to. I definitely want to go to Edinburgh at some point this year. So yeah, maybe we'll have to do that. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.